Hello and welcome back to Flow Pilates and our 30-day challenge. We are up to day 21, so thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. My name is Greta and I have got an upper body strength class teed up for you. It will be great for your shoulders as well as some abdominal work in there as well. So we're going to start on the far end of your mat in an inchworm series. So nodding your chin to chest, rolling that spine down, finding that forward fold over your legs. We're walking those hands out to find your plank. Beautiful. We're going to start by opening up to find that side plank facing me. Left hand goes to sky. It touches back down on your mat before we walk back up to forward fold. Beautiful. Going again, walking out, taking that open at the bottom. Just working this left hand side plank at the moment, team. Beautiful. We're going to keep adding on throughout the series. Nice work. So this next time we open out to that side plank, can you hold? You're lifting up through that bottom side waist. We're threading that top hand down and through underneath our shoulder. It extends back up to that sky. Before hand drops, we find that plank and then you slowly walk those hands back. Nice work. Awesome. So each time we hit that side plank, taking that thread the needle through. Nice. Seeing if you can take a nice even rotation through those hips. Think about your whole body turning in one motion. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna add on this next layer, team. So we're gonna walk out. We're opening up to that side plank, taking that thread the needle down and through. We extend everything back up. Can you hold? We're pressing back to our hips as arms sweep up. Nice. Pressing back forward before we square back to plank and walk back forward. Nice work. So as always, team, these layers are optional. So if one isn't there today, just ditch it. Move through in that earlier sequence. Nice work. Okay. One more like this before we're going to take out that inchworm. So one more like this. All right, we're going for that final walk back to your feet now, team. We're ditching this little respite at the top now. Nice work. So we're just holding in your plank. You're taking that open out. We're moving into that thread the needle, extending back out before we take that press back. So this is us threading that needle and pushing back. Beautiful. Moving nice and slow here. I want you to think about really lifting that bottom right side body up and out, pressing that mat away with our right palm. Nice work. Not rushing through this movement. We want to hit each shape here. Awesome. Okay, giving me two more like this. Two more. You're so strong, staying with me. All right, we're on to that final rep here. We're all gonna meet in that side plank. After holding in that side plank, we're pulsing those hips up and up, lifting through that bottom right side waist. Nice. How is that right shoulder feeling? Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We lower back down. Lovely work. Legs can find that mermaid pose. Rainbowing that right hand up and over. Gaze looks down to that left. Nice work. Beautiful. So we're going to keep working this right shoulder team. So we're going to flip on round to find our tabletop position. Hands come underneath those shoulders, and we're going to extend that back left leg behind us on the mat. Toes are tucked. Beautiful. Right arm sends long, fingers are touching that mat. Inhale, and as you exhale, we're lifting that arm up. Beautiful. Inhale, we loft, and exhale, you take that lift. Nice work. So in these first few reps, let's just check our form, making sure you're pulling your belly button in towards your spine. We're not got a real arch and flare through that lower back. Thinking about keeping that tailbone tucked the entire time. All right, this next time you lift that arm, can we hold? We're squeezing that arm back behind you. Beautiful. It squeezes back forward before we lower and tap. Beautiful. Nice work. So keeping that shoulder nice and high as we send that elbow back behind you. Nice work. Giving me 3 more like this before we add on. Exhale to lift. Inhale. Exhale and lower back down. Okay, this next time we lift, can we squeeze that elbow back and hold just to your point that your arm reaches the goalpost? Beautiful. We're lengthening that arm out to find a T. Beautiful. It just draws back into that goalpost only position. Reaches back forward before we tap it back. Nice. So we lift, hit that goalpost team, lengthen, draw back before we press back forward and drop. Nice work. Beautiful work. All right, giving me 2 more like this before we take that final challenge if you're up for it today. 1 more like this. Okay, a little bit of core work here. This next time as we lift that arm, can we lift your back leg? Beautiful. Can you hold it there as we move through this arm sequence? Keeping that body as still as you can. Awesome work. Beautiful. Focusing on that control team, staying focused here. You can take respite whenever you need to. Take a roll out with that shoulder and join back in when you feel ready. Otherwise, you've just got 2 more full reps like this. Lovely work. Moving into that final rep, no rush. Okay, we're gonna meet back at the bottom of our 4-point. Nice work, rolling that shoulder, quick moment to reset. Tucking back through that back toe. We're just gonna lift that arm only, extending it out to goalpost. Can we just open that T? Out to T and refine goalpost. Beautiful, we T and goalpost. If it's there, you can hover that back leg off that mat now. Beautiful. We're here for 5. Nice work for 4. 3, 2, all right, on 1 we extend that arm. Can you hold you in your breath for 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, dropping it back down, taking that roll out with your shoulders, just rolling them back. And then we can change direction. Beautiful. All right, we're going into a tricep press series. So your hands are gonna refine that mat. We're stepping those knees back, tucking through your tailbone, sending your hips forward so we're in that straight line, kneeling position. Beautiful. Inhaling, we're sinking down low to find that press up. Exhale, we rise. Nice. Just working this press team. Elbows stay tight. Head's in line with spine, it's not looking down and underneath our belly. Just giving me 4 like this. Final 2. All right, last one before we add on. We press up, we hold. Keeping your core completely still here. Can we sweep your right arm up and over? Can it circle back and round? Refines that mat before we take that next press. Left arm now extends forward, circling it round, and then we press. Nice work. So a little bit of core work here, team. Focusing on keeping your hips square towards that mat the entire time, seeing how slow we can circle these arms out. See if you can take that full 3 count. Here, full 1, 2, 3, and then you drop that hand. Nice work. All right, this next time, after that tricep press, can you hold? If it's there, can you tuck your toes? Press up to find your full plank, feet are wide. Can you move through that arm sweep in your full push-up position before you drop those knees, untuck your toes, and take that press. Beautiful. So that is your added challenge, team. Nice work. Either staying on those knees or lifting on up. Even if you do one on your feet, team, that is still gains. Nice work. Beautiful. You have just got one more each side. Final rep here. Last one. We circle that left arm up and over, knees drop, tricep press. Nice work. Holding in your plank, kneeling plank. We've just got tricep press ups to finish. Down and we press. Nice work, team. Here just for 4, 3, 2, last one. And pressing back to find a child's pose. Lovely work. Lengthening out through those legs. Those arms. Nice work. All right. Tucking through your toes now and lifting on up to find your forward fold. Head can hang heavy here. Just bending through that left knee now as you extend that right arm up towards the sky, taking a twist. Okay, and swapping it on over. Left hand goes up long. All right, refinding center. Okay, we're moving into that inchworm series, team. So when you're ready, we're walking those hands out. Beautiful. We're finding that plank position before you open that top right hand this time to find your side plank. Beautiful. Hand touches back on that mat before we walk back to find your forward fold. Going again. Nice work. Each time we hit the side plank, I want you to think about lifting and arching through that bottom left side waist. This time, feeling that nice activation for that oblique. Okay, this next time we lift and hold in that side plank, you're adding that thread the needle. Right arm sends down and through, lengthens back up nice and long before that hand drops back down and we walk back up. Nice work. So when we take that thread the needle, we want that nice even motion through those hips as we send that right hand under our armpit. Beautiful. Seeing how smooth we can keep this motion. Okay, this next time we're gonna keep adding on, team. So we're opening out to that side plank. You're taking that one, thread the needle. Then we're lifting it back up to that sky before taking that press back to our heels as arm sweeps. Nice work. You refine that side plank before hand drops back down and we walk back up. That is that full challenge today and full sequence for our side planks. Just flowing through in our own time, focusing on hitting each shape in this movement pattern, moving nice and slow and controlled. Nice work, team. As always, it's about quality over quantity, so if you need a second to roll out through those wrists, reset that left shoulder, please do so. All right, you've just got one more full rep like this before we are ditching that inchworm. Nice work. All right, hand comes back down. We're taking that inchworm for your final time and we're meeting out in your plank. Beautiful. Opening out to find that side plank. Getting to work on that thread the needle under, open back out, and that press back. This is our combo. Nice work. Finishing this side off super strong. How is your left shoulder feeling, team? Nice work. Here for 4 more like this. Beautiful. Giving me 3 now. Last 2. All right, after this last one, we're all meeting out in your side plank, holding there. We're just pulsing that left hip up and up, squeezing our bottom sideways. You've got it. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1. Lowering down. Nice work, taking that mermaid stretch, rainbowing that left arm up and over now. Feeling that nice stretch down that side body. Beautiful. All right, flipping on over. We're keeping that work for that left shoulder, team. Finding that 4-point position. Beautiful. Hands come underneath the line of your shoulders. This time that right leg is stepping back, toes tucked on your mat, and your left hand's lengthening forward. Beautiful. Inhaling, as we take that exhale, we're lifting that left arm up. Inhale, we tap. Exhale, we find that lift. Nice work. Using that exhale to help us slowly find that lift. We're not rushing, seeing if you can lift and hold for a second at the top before we control back down. Awesome work, just 2 more before we add on. Last one like this. Okay, this next time you lift that arm, can we hold it there? Can we send that elbow back behind us, squeezing that arm back? It reaches back forward before those fingers tap. Beautiful, so you're adding that squeeze right back through that left shoulder blade. Nice work, team. Just checking back in with your form, making sure you're still keeping that rib to hip connection. So you're still squeezing your belly button in towards your spine, keeping that nice flat back as we move through this. All right, time to add on, team. This next time, We're gonna lift together. Can you hold? We're squeezing back just to hit that goalpost only. Can you lengthen that arm out to find a T? Refine your goalpost before we sweep out and tap down. Beautiful. We lift, goalpost, and then T. Focusing on keeping that arm as high as you can throughout this movement. Nice work. You guys are so strong. You've just got one more before we can add that leg if you're up for it. All right, that's the next time we tap that arm back, let's hold. Bit of an ab challenge as well as we lift that leg. Can you lift your right leg off that mat? We're squeezing that shoulder back. Nice work. Keeping your body as still as possible. Nice work. A little bit more of a balance challenge. Focusing that gaze down on that mat in front of you, making sure your head's staying in line with your spine. Just giving me 3 more like this. Beautiful. Final 2, team, making these our best. Nice work, last one. Exhale to lift. All right, we all meet at the bottom. Quick reset if you need to. Your back right toe taps back down onto the mat. Nice work. All together, let's lift that left arm, draw it back to your goalpost. We're just extending out to T, drawing back to goalpost. Extending and refining that bend. If it's there, you can hover that right leg off that mat. Nice work. We're just here for 5, and then a hold and you're done. Here for 4, for 3, nice work. 2, on 1 we find that T. Can you hold you and your breath for 3? Pushing that mat away with your right palm for 2, and on 1, lower back down. Nice work, coming onto the heels of your feet. Just taking that nice slow and big shoulder roll, rolling those shoulders back. Nice work, team. Just rolling them back forward now. Nice work. All right, well, we've got a final little ab blast for class. So come meet me sitting on your mat. Beautiful. Your feet are gonna stay planted here, and we're gonna bring those arms just in line with your shoulder height. We're going for a rollback series. So as we inhale, you're tucking through your tailbone, sending your belly button back behind you as we sink down low to find a C-shaped spine. Beautiful. Exhaling as imagining someone's pulling you from your fingertips. We're restacking to find seated. Nice. So rolling back into that C shape before rising on up. Nice work. So really exaggerating that flowing motion through that spine, enjoying that bit of articulation here. Finding that nice high length at the top and seeing how low we can sink back at the bottom. Okay, we're gonna add on here. This next time, we roll back to your C shape. Can you hold it there? Can we bend that right elbow as we twist to the right? Beautiful. Lengthening it back long. Left elbow bends, twisting over. Extends out, and then we rise on up. Nice work. So as we take these arm bends here, team, making sure your back isn't flattening off here. We don't want any load through that spine. We're keeping that C shape the entire time. Shoulders should be rolled back and down, not sneaking up towards our shoulders. Our ears. Okay. Last one like this before we keep adding on. Nice work. Okay, this next time we sink low, let's hold it there together. As you bend that right arm, can you hover your right leg off the mat? Beautiful. It lowers as we extend. Left leg, left arm rolls back in, and we reset. Nice work. So adding those legs for an extra core challenge here. Nice work, making it a nice slow and controlled lift. Taking one more full rep like this. Beautiful. All right, this is the last time we're gonna rise up to seated. Nice team as a team. Let's sink back low, holding in that C shape. Just working that arm bend and those legs if it's there for you. Awesome. Here for 5. Here for 4. 3, 2, all right. Last one, we meet with those arms extended out. Beautiful, holding in that C shape. We open out to T. We sweep them back forward, beautiful. Just these open and those closes. Nice work. We're keeping the theme of those shoulders, team. Lovely work, hands stay in line with those shoulders and our chest. Here for 4, 3, 2, all right, on one arm sweep forward. Can you slowly lower your spine back down to your mat? Wiggling ourselves down onto that mat. Your arms are gonna reach overhead. Final little blast for those abs, team. Inhaling, and as we exhale, we're circling them around and down, taking that crunch at the top. Nice, inhale, we lower, they circle overhead. So exhale, we crunching. Inhale, returning back. As you take this crunch, making sure your gaze is looking down to the bottom of your stomach. We're keeping that chin tucked the entire time to stop any load going through our neck. Okay, final progression is as we take that curl, can we hover those legs to tabletop? Taking a little clam, toes tap as arms reach. Exhale to crunch, inhale to lower. Final push, you guys are so strong, just giving me 5 like this. Beautiful, clearing those shoulder blades off the top of your mat. Here for your final 3. Nice, 2 more. Last one, we're all gonna curl up and hold. Holding there, if you can, lengthening out through those legs. You and your breath, team. Here for 3, 2, and 1. Drawing your knees into your chest. Taking a rock out from side to side. Nice work. All the hard work of class is done, so we can stretch it out together, team. Coming on round, taking a lie down on our belly. Hands can come just to either side of your chest, legs are long. Inhaling in as we exhale, just lifting up to find a cobra here. Nice work. Letting that gaze lift. If it's there, you can fully lengthen those arms out to find your upward facing dog. We're just looking over that left shoulder as right shoulder pulls through, pulls forward, finding that twist. And swapping it on over. Nice work. Refinding center, pressing those hips up nice and high to find that downward facing dog. Pressing the mat away with your palms, taking a pedal out with either foot. Beautiful, finding that nice length down our spine here. awesome work. Pulling back forward, dropping those knees now, and swiveling on round to face me. As always, team, we're finishing off with that last deep inhale breath. So sweeping those arms up, filling up your belly, your sides, your lungs. Nice work. And then exhaling everything out. Thank you so much for joining me today for our day 21 of the 30-day challenge. As always, this is Flow Pilates and my name is Greta, and I'll hope to see you next time. Thank you so much.